Amazing.
Talk a little bit more about that creativity, because Brownsville, yourself, your brother Trigger, Smith and Wesson, MOP, Riddick Bowe, Mike Tyson. It's like when you look back at it now, there was so much talent there. So many individuals that really sparked the wave, in music, in sports, that you won't see again. What is, talk a little bit about that creativity and what it was about that area that sparked this creativity to do all these incredible things.
You know what? I think it was a combination of a lot of things. We had our neighborhood block parties, and we had like Brownsville Day and those kind of things. And what it would do is kind of bring the neighborhoods, like the outer neighborhoods, as well as the inner neighborhoods. Because Brownsville is Brownsville, but it's so one project is on one side, then you go across the street, and another project on another side, and a lot of the niggas necessarily didn't really get along to some degree. It was just kind of like a weird thing. Like a nigga would be getting killed from the next building. Two buildings that have beef with each other, and they directly across from each other. So it was wild. But in the midst of all of that shit, I think just building. It was a lot of positive brothers. I mean, we had God bless them, the Akbars and the
5%,
the 5% nations. Right. Yeah, and areas. But even then, they was converting themselves. They was making a transition from the street to, some type of knowledge of self, which was great. So, I think just building amongst each other. Smith and Wesson, they wasn't too far. Mike Tyson, I met him a few times. I think the pot was just full of motherfuckers trying to find a way to get out, but at the same time still be themselves. You know what I'm saying? Let me clarify. Because look, back then in the hood, even up to now, the schools is fucked up. It ain't enough money for schools and all. You know what I'm saying? So all right, let me
curriculum's fucked up.
Yeah, let me bring it back. So all right, then we young. Our role models was who was our real role models, making real change. Actually touching the hood, like you see them on TV, but actually touching the hood, you feel they change, you feel they affect. A lot of the cats from Brownsville, prior to me coming out, I can touch these dudes. I remember I was doing my album, I was recording my album, and I was the neighborhood Smooth the Hustler. I wasn't the international Smooth the Hustler, so I was making my leadway, and I happened to see Mike Tyson, and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, Smooth the Hustler, yo, blah, 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 blah. He's on a three-wheeler. He's riding through the hood. He on a three-wheeler German helmet. He got some dude behind him in a black Range Rover, some OG nigga. So I'm like, yo, I'm sticking my head out the Lex. Yo, follow me, man, just real quick, please. But when nigga follow me. We went down to Bushwick and shit. I jumped out by DR crib. He jumped off the bike. And then he was like, oh, shit, and I'm like, yeah, Smooth the Hustler. I was doing a whole bunch of shows then. Jay-Z and fucking Boot Camp and all these Maria Davis showcases and all type of shit. So we was making our name known. But, yeah, he came in the studio, said some shit for me. He kind of the same shit he said for Cannabis maybe like 10 years later on one of Cannabis records.
LL shit?
Yeah, but I swear to God. But I had Mike in the studio at Next Level when we was recording the album.
Wow.
So, and he came down there. The studio was in Bushwick. Everybody from Bushwick who may have seen him come through, everybody came out, and so it was a crowd of motherfuckers when we came out the studio. But he was showing love, taking pictures and dapping it up, and he stood there, kicked it with niggas. So my point is, our local heroes kind of you know, they remained kind of in the hood. Whether they left out of the hood and came back to the hood, they still kind of, you know, dwindled in the hood. So they was tangible. You can touch them. You know what I mean? And I think that kind of radiated and it was like, hey, I can do this shit. I mean, I know for me it did. You know what I mean?
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, I met Big Daddy Kane, and you know, he's a Brooklyn thoroughbred, and this is prior to Smooth the Hustler dropping. You know what I mean? So I think the spark is you being tangible. I'm sure I had that effect for my brother and Papoose and the cats that used to be in the studio when I was recording my album. You know what I mean? They was hungry, wild, rapping, going around battling cats and all kind of shit. But, you know, to see me do it, and, oh shit, man, yeah, this with a little bit of, you know, due diligence and some, you know, some focus and attention and devotion to something, you know, you can change your life. And, you know, I was happy for that. But back to the question at the hand, I think the creativity came from being able to, first, getting out of the hood, one, and two, the ones who made it out still being tangible and still being able to see them dudes and kind of conversate with them dudes, just created that spark to say, hey, I can do this, and, you know, this is something that I want to do. It wasn't a fad.